Kawaii! This is a very small game published by Helvetiq, and I picked it up from my friendly local game store, pretty much like an impulse buy. Also, it was like $12, so it wasn't a huge investment. And, well, I knew nothing about the game. From what I saw in the back, it looked like a simple, cute, quick filler that I could play with my family, and guess what? It turned out to be precisely that. This is a game that you can easily play in 5-10 minutes, so that makes it like a perfect filler. Also, you know, very portable, and you can play it with casual gamers, non-gamers, children. I played it with my daughters that are currently 8 and 10, and I also play with my wife, who's not a regular gamer and does not like to learn new games, does not like complex games, and yet she was willing to learn this game after she saw the rule sheet, and actually also she liked it. So it's a light, very light game, mind you, but actually that's pretty entertaining. What you have here is some capture tokens. Each player starts with 2. Then you have a main deck of cards and 2 sets of cards of this kind. One representing ice cream flavors only, and one representing types or shapes of ice cream only. As you set up the game, you shuffle these decks, and each player receives a card from each. You look at these cards, and so now I know that for this game, my favorite flavor is chocolate, and the hokey shape is the one that I'm looking for. And maybe another player has these 2 cards. I shouldn't look at them in real life, but then they're getting this fish scale flavor, I don't know, and the Twindo shape. And another player has softy and honey, and so on and so forth. These are the cards, all show ice creams of specific flavors. We shuffle this deck here, and then we distribute the cards until all they have been distributed. So each player will have a pile of cards in front of them, or approximately the same number. If players don't get exactly the same number, it doesn't really matter. I think you probably guessed that the purpose is you're trying to get as many cards as possible of the color and shape, with the ice cream of the color and shape that you've been assigned at the beginning of the game. The way it works, all players simultaneously reveal a card from their deck, and then they do it again. And then they do it again. So each player will have a set of cards in front of themselves, and then you do it again. And that's pretty much the general idea. Whenever you see a set that you find interesting, you take one of your 2 capture tokens, you put it on that set, and you simply take that set and you put it in your personal scoring pile. The player whose set you took receives the capture token, so that's an interesting mechanic. If you capture your own set, you still capture it as normal, and the capture token is discarded, goes back to the box, no one gets it. And then you simply continue. You simply continue like this. It's this simple. There may be times where you don't have any capture tokens, so you're waiting for somebody to take your cards, and so they give you a capture tokens. Other times you have a ton of capture tokens. Basically, you continue like this until all the cards have been assigned. I guess it could happen in the unlikely event that there are no capture tokens available, if people have been obsessively, compulsively taking their own sets, but I don't see that happening very often. At the end of the game, each player takes their scoring pile and you go through it. You also reveal your starting cards. Each card of your flavor is worth a point. Each card with the shape of your favorite ice cream is also worth a point. If you have a card with the right shape and flavor, then it is worth 2 points. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty intuitive. 1 and 1 is 2. Cherries are always worth a point. Close shops, these are usually worth -1 point. However, there are 3 of them in the deck. If you have all 3, then they're actually worth 3 points instead of -1. Player with the highest score wins the game. And this is how you play Kawaii. Kawaii got the job done, the job for which I hired this of the space for which I bought it, which is to provide me with a quick, simple filler that I can take out of the box if we have 20 minutes before dinner. We play twice, and then it's back in the box almost as fast as it took us to play. And then we had dinner and we talk about it, and the girls are all excited that can we play it again after dinner. The girls, yeah, all three, even mom. She's hard to please these days. She used to be a lot more accepting of games, but these days, with the stress of the pandemic, they had to be very simple, very linear, and yet to still have some meat on their bones. And Kawaii, maybe surprisingly, does that. It is still a light filler, but I don't know. It's a light filler that is more entertaining than you would imagine from how simple the rules are. It may feel kind of, like brainless, but it's really not. At its core, it's a push or luck game. Because, of course, there's a set right in front of me that will allow me to score 2 points if I get it now. But I'm hoping if I wait for 2 more cards, then maybe it'll be worth 3 points, maybe 4. But at each time, of course, and I'm keeping an eye on what everybody else is doing, of course, the longer I wait, the more chances there are that somebody will take it. And if I grab a set that looks okay too early, and then the sets don't show up because the cards are distributed, the cards that I want are just scattered around, then I feel bad about it. Or again, I get a couple of sets that are good, and now a really great set is showing up, and I don't have any captured tokens anymore. So it has incredibly basic, incredibly linear, and intuitive ways of balancing itself, or giving you reasons to push your luck, and reasons to celebrate when it goes well, and reasons to regret your decisions. Both because the set is not exactly what you wanted it to be, it's not good enough, or because of the timing with the captured tokens. So incredibly simple. You could play it. I played it again with adults, with my wife, with an 8-year-old, with a 10-year-old. You could play with even younger kids. Of course, they would mess up a little bit. And they don't have the kind of reflexes that you have, but it's a game that children could play by themselves without adult supervision. It's that simple. The art is cute, it's very portable, it's very affordable, so I only have good things to say about Kawaii. The only negative is not a negative, it's just a reminder. It's not a deep game, it's not a complex game. When after the pandemic you have adult game night with your adult friends, this is not going to be probably the crown jewel of your game night, but as a warm-up activity, as a filler between other games, is a perfectly serviceable, perfectly enjoyable game. In its category, as a simple filler, this is a truly great game. A small, little, simple, great game.